just getting a post-match interview here at Wadham Lodge following tonight's 1-0 win over Walthamstow. Start with you, James. Wasn't a pretty game, but you must be absolutely delighted with the way that we dug that out tonight, because it was a real scrap at times, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yes, it was a scrap. Yeah, scrap like the few games we've had recently in terms of the aerial balls and the non-stop aerial threat. But yeah, to win that game in the way that I said on Saturday, we needed a game where something was on it. I think we all agreed that we needed something on that game, and tonight that showed. Yeah, really pleased. Defensively, fantastic. Yeah, the way we managed the game and got through the final 15 minutes, as we sort of said at half time, chunks of 15 minutes, was fantastic, and to finish second, we should all be very proud of that achievement. It should be celebrated. It's a fantastic achievement, and some of that tonight was it's outstanding, so really pleased.
Was that up there with probably our best defensive display of the season, would you say?
Yeah, I suppose it probably is, probably by a mile. Second half in particular, they, as we knew we would, Nick chucked everything at it, and I think we've kept him down to one goal line clearance. I think that we've had to win balls in the air, we've had to win balls on the floor, big tackles. The work rate from them was unbelievable. And we still managed to break out and cause them some issues the other end. But yeah, it's a completely different performance to the last two. We've been sort of mystified, I think, the three of us, the last two games as to what's happened, and then we've come here against arguably one of the best sides in the league, as we know. They've been on an absolute run of results recently, and we've come here, and so, as James just said, there's something on the game, and it's important, and then we go and produce that, that rearguard action, which I thought was fantastic. And look, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to do that next Wednesday, whoever we play, and hopefully that gets us over the line next Wednesday.
Skip, obviously confirming second place ahead of the weekend. How important was that to get that over the line tonight? And we've obviously now secured home advantage in next Wednesday's playoff. How important is that from a obviously there's not a lot between any of the teams, but how important is home advantage in the playoffs?
Well, firstly, today's result's brilliant. But if it hadn't have gone our way today, the season's still been fantastic. But what's happened is we've been second, I think, for the majority since about October. So it would have been a shame to, at the very last hurdle, not finish second. Home advantage is massive, really, but home advantage is really because you don't want to be travelling too far for these games. I think when you think Didcot would have been a trek for us, this is a trek for us. So to be at home is brilliant. It allows the spectators to come and watch us on our home pitch as well. Having said that, the last two home performances haven't been very good, so we need to improve on that. But you feel like, to be honest, you're on a Biggleswade FC roller coaster, because Saturday you're as low as you can get. Today you're flying high. See where it takes us next week. But the lads were brilliant. Dave and James have just touched on it. I thought they were superb today, and there was something on the game, and they've all turned up, and there's been some big performances against a good side. And I think you just mentioned off camera that's first defeat since
that's the first
October.
home defeat since October. So
yeah, so they, again, we didn't know that,
right.
So that's a credit. So excellent, can't complain. Enjoyed it.
James, just going back to, we were talking about the last two games where we've obviously not played as well, but the onus on those two games has been on us to go and attack, whereas this was a slightly different kind of game tonight. Do you think it suits us better not being the team that has to go out and do it? Has that played a part in tonight's performance, do you think?
Maybe it has. I think we've had all sorts of different sort of performances this season, as we know, and we've seen lots of different types of games, scenarios, so maybe it has. I hadn't really thought of it like that, to be honest with you, but I just thought, you take each game as it comes, knowing, and knowing what the strengths are, weaknesses of each opposition are, and knowing what your strengths and weaknesses are. So I think we just played the game the right way today, and we dealt with the conditions, and again, like Dave and Skip said, showed that we can deal with the high balls, non-slaught of aerial attacks, and like you're saying, we can repel them. So I think that, perhaps it did have a large say in it, but I think having something on the game today, knowing that you'd win and finish second, like I say, that was the achievement that we all as a club should be really proud of, as I said at the beginning. And players, the committee, the club, everyone should be so proud of it. So it is a fantastic achievement. And like you've just labelled some of the clubs that we've played recently, look at their history. You know, been around many years. Step 3 most of the time. A lot of the clubs have been up and down. And to finish, not only in the playoffs but second, I think, as you say, the league table doesn't lie. So we've just got to be really proud and enjoy that moment, whatever happens in the playoffs. But knowing that we're now preparing, you know, with a big load of confidence going into it.
I think it should also give us confidence going into the playoffs. The way we managed the game tonight, I thought perhaps in previous games where the game's been tight, we haven't perhaps managed things. I would say probably the tame away earlier in the season, where we're 2-1 up going into the last minute, and we've taken risks that maybe we didn't need to. But I felt our management in general tonight, where we needed to, when the crowd were getting up and they were starting to build a bit of momentum, I think we did what they would do to us if the boot was on the other foot.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that. Certainly thinking back to the Tame game, where you had probably seconds left at the last minute, I think the referee said, after the game. And then ultimately, like you say, today, if you look at this performance in its own right, you know, we've managed that going up. I mean, there must have been 6 or 7 minutes added on, and the rest. You know, because there's lots of injuries and niggles, and there's lots of injuries mainly for them. But yeah, I think it was a fantastic performance, and it shows, like you say, that we can dig in and do that defensive ugly side, as Dave said, which is fantastic. It was good effect for us.
Dave, just looking ahead to Saturday, obviously the Highworth game now is not as significant as perhaps it would have been if we had not got a positive result tonight. Will we look to rest players on Saturday, and also looking ahead to the playoffs? Whoever we play, it's almost like a 50-50 game, because there's not really anything between the other teams, is there?
No. Saturday, I think we're going to be sort of forced into resting a few. We've picked up a few injuries tonight. Lost George in the warm-up. We'd hoped to give Charlie a few minutes tonight, but he wasn't quite ready. But in the end, we've only made the one. We've made an enforced change before we kick off. We've made a change during the game, and then because the way the game was going, we'd probably liked in normal times to try and rest one or two or get players on tonight. But we didn't want to change it because of how well they defended. But we'll rest. Yeah, we'll make sure that players get a game. There's one of the lads in the reserves that we're going to start Saturday. We've been looking for an opportunity to give them a game, and that allows us to play under no pressure. And yeah, get some rest into some of the boys. But the thing is, you know that if I say to Alex and Laurie Marsh, we'll give you a rest, you know, I'll get a flea in the ear. So it's not a case. I think we will look at it. We know Pat today has gone through the pain barrier first. 1 or 2 others have gone through the pain barrier. Simo's gone through the pain barrier. So, you know, we'll probably look at the side Saturday, take those couple of players out, use them if we have to, but try and get rest into those ready for the Wednesday. If we're lucky, we may get a couple of minutes into Charlie, but we can go to Highworth and enjoy it. We're all going on the coach, so have a good day out and play with a bit of freedom and not being under pressure, and just enjoy it today.
Just a word for Bondi, obviously the match winner today. How he really took that follow-up well, because that could really have gone anywhere, and he's caught it sweet with following up Alex's penalty, hasn't he?
Yeah, Bondi's last couple of weeks he's scored some big goals, so he's a guy like a lot of them. They breed on confidence, and fair play to him. I mean, he's been with us a few years now, and he probably wishes he could get more goals, etc. But you can't fault his work rate.
It's his best return for us
again, and it doesn't surprise me, because he works. He's at every training session. He works hard on the pitch. He's a good character both on and off the pitch. He gets everything he deserves when he gets a goal like that. I mean, he's got man of the match today. Is that right?
Yeah.
And there's been times in the last 2 months that he probably could have won 2 or 3 others, and he gets overlooked. So I'm pleased for him today, because he does deserve it. And second half, he has worked his socks off up there. He's chased lost calls. He's put them under pressure. Yeah, no, you cannot fault him, honestly. And fair play to him, because like I said, the effort he puts in both off the pitch, training, and on the pitch when he's on it, brilliant. I'm pleased for him. Well deserved.
Well done, chaps. Enjoy your evening, and we'll see you Saturday.
Thank you.